Hello viewers of the National Television, welcome to this English news edition. I'm Fabian Yonizigie. Here are top stories. The CNDD-FDD party won all 10 available seats in the Senate. In addition to these, 3 senators from the Twa community will join. It is also not worthy that women will make 50% of the new upper house. 212 of the 230 cases scheduled by the Supreme Court since June as a part of efforts to bring justice services closer to litigants in land disputes have already been judged throughout the country. The President of the Supreme Court announced this first day in Mwaro Commune. Welcome once more. Those are headline details now. The CNDD-FDD party won all 10 available seats in the Senate. In addition to these, 3 senators from the Twa community will join. It is also not worthy that women will make up 50% of the new upper house. Details.
4 political parties were in competition for the Senate elections, namely the CNDD-FDD, UPRONA, CNL, and the APDR party. The elections were held across the 5 provinces of the country according to the new administrative division. In all these provinces, it was the CNDD-FDD party that won, securing 10 seats, meaning 2 from each province. Regarding ethnic representation, the balance was respected. 5 senators from the Tutsi ethnic group and 5 from the Hutu group. In addition to these 10 senators, 3 senators from the Twa ethnic minority coming from organizations representing this group were added. A notable change in this election is the increased representation of women. Unlike the usual 30% female representation in institutions, the current Senate will consist of 50% women. Present at the ceremony were members of the National Assembly and Senate, some government officials and ministers, the wife of democracy hero Melchior Ndadaye, high-ranking officials from the presidency and the prime minister's office, ambassadors accredited to Burundi, and other dignitaries.
As I said, 212 of the 230 cases scheduled since June as a part of the effort to bring justice services closer to litigants in land dispute have already been judged throughout the country. The announcement was made this first day by the President of the Supreme Court during a hearing session held in Honorable Habwa Hill in Mwaro Commune. On this occasion, Gamaliel Nkurunziza urged judges to prioritize conciliation and mediation in conflict resolution in order to promote social cohesion and lasting peace in communities. Gondie Gato.
We are on Bohabga Hill in Dokanga Zone, Mwaro Commune in Gitega Province, while 2 families, Buninda and Rugwaguza, are involved in a land dispute. This Thursday, the Supreme Court, along with all its chambers, traveled to this hill to conduct a substantive hearing in the case opposing these 2 families. The visit by the country's highest judicial authority followed a request submitted by a representative of the Rugwaguza family who expressed dissatisfaction with judgment rendered by lower courts. This land dispute dates back to 2011. The President of the Supreme Court gave both parties and their respective lawyers the opportunity to present their arguments. After hearing from the disputing parties, the court also listened to testimonies from local residents and former local officials to gather their perspectives on the origin of the conflict following these hearings. Representatives from both families guided the court's delegation to the disputed land to clearly indicate the boundaries in question. The President of the Supreme Court explained that this visit is part of the first phase of a national campaign launched by the court in June aimed at resolving land disputes directly on the ground closer to the people. Since the launch of this national initiative, 212 out of the 230 scheduled cases have already been judged, with verdict pending announcement. Gamaliel Nkurunziza noted that the population has welcomed this approach as it reduces the need to travel to the court's headquarters in Bujumbura. Magistrates also benefit from a better understanding of the cases by visiting the locations. The disputing parties appreciate this proximity to justice as well. Citizens who attended the hearing expressed their satisfaction and called for the continuation of this initiative, which improves access to justice. In response, the President of the Supreme Court assured that the campaign would continue in September in regions that have not yet been covered. He also urged the citizens involved in land disputes to seek amicable solutions and encouraged magistrates to promote reconciliation as a way to foster peace and social cohesion. As for the Hill mediators, he called on them to be more involved in resolving land conflicts at the local level, allowing people to focus on development. Finally, Gamaliel Nkurunziza expressed his gratitude to local authorities who actively contributed to the success of the campaign, as well as to supporting partners, particularly the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the LADEC organization. It is worth noting that after all these steps, the case has been taken under deliberation.
And 4 vehicles were handed over this Friday to the 4 provincial coordinators of the Ministry of Public Service. Minister Veniste Muyabaga urged these directors to use these vehicles to ensure the smooth running of the ministry's activities for the benefit of employees in the various provinces. The founder and the legal representative of the Uwiragiye Foundation calls on Burundians to promote the dignity of people living with visual impairments. Sylvie Uwiragiye made this appeal this Thursday upon returning from Kinshasa, where she was called the patron of people living with visual impairments in the Central Africa region. She stated that the award she received honors the country and all Burundians. Fires have been reported in the city of Bujumbura in recent days. The fires have been reported in the city of Bujumbura in recent days, with fires destroying homes and everything inside. Witnesses suspect the power outage, especially after power outages, and are calling on Regideso to review its electricity distribution system, especially after this power outage. And the Regideso denies any responsibility in these fires. The Director General of Regideso stated that his company Regideso begins by converting the electricity so that it reaches homes with a voltage of either 340 voltage or 20 volts as required by current laws. Jean-Albert Manigomba calls on those building houses to use qualified technicians when installing this electrical system and to use legally approved equipment to avoid such incidents. He also specifies that if a fire is indeed caused by a fault on the part of Regideso, the victim is compensated. Burundi has hosted regional and international competition where various athletes have received awards. This was stated by the Minister of Sports and Culture on Thursday on the sidelines of the ceremonies to present the achievements report for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Marius Mohigwe was there.
In the sports sector, several activities were carried out. Here, the Minister Gervais Abayeho said Burundi has hosted and participated in more than 20 regional and international sports competitions, in which Burundian athletes have won different awards. He mentions the star Sada Nahimana, who won the women's tournament called the World Tennis Tower this year. As part of promoting social cohesion in the workplace, the Interministerial Championship was also organized. In the sector of culture, A large Burundian drum monument was built on the roundabout of the international airport. The celebration of the 8th edition of the week, dedicated to the emblematic dance, which coincided with the commemoration of the 10th anniversary of the inscription of drum dancing on the list of representative and intangible cultural heritage of humanity. In the sports sector, an intermunicipal men's football championship for the 2024 and the 2025 editions was launched in Buganda, Cibitoke province.
Well, end of this news edition. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching our programs. Bye-bye.